last year's Charlestown Classic. It was the old-timer 7-year-old Imperative in the winner's circle, repeating his victory from 3 years earlier. Javier Castellano was aboard for that win, his third in 9 runnings of the race. Today, a fourth is well within his reach as he's reunited with War Story, the only horse with experience at Charlestown who came up just short in last year's edition. He'll have to contend with Diversify, who's gone from State Bred Stakes winner to Grade 1 glory. Great to have you with us on Saturday at the races. It is presented by Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Welcome to South Ozone Park, New York, and Aqueduct Racetrack. We have the start of the late pick 5 presented by Naira Bets coming up in just a few moments here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and the 10th running of the Charlestown Classic, which in a very short time has become one of the prominent early season stops in the handicap division. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met, LA Dodger, Paul LaDuca, New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling, and Paul for Diversify in the Charlestown Classic, his first start back in what he hopes to be a year where he can really be prominent in the handicap division.
Yeah, he's 5-year-old now, and he's going to make his 5-year-old debut today. This is a horse that is 7 for 11, a win machine, and almost $1 million in the bank. You hit the nail on the head in the open. War Story is the lone horse in here that does have experience over a racetrack where you need it. That might be the only thing that could be hindering Diversify in here.
Well, speed as well. Speed's the name of Diversify's game, and with the 7 of Fleet Willie, we'll see if he puts pressure on him, and perhaps both War Story and Diversify will have to fear the Cowboy on the rail.
That is our primetime race coming up, 1 1/8. Little bit different 1 1/8 than most horses are used to, which gives War Story a little more of an advantage. We'll have more on that coming up in just a moment. There it is, $1.2 million purse. One of the largest purses in the division as well in the calendar year. As you look at the field, 7 will line up. We talk about the speed of Diversify, guys, and also speed outside with a Fleet Willie who loves to win.
Fleet Willie's obviously going to have to step his game up. He hasn't run as fast as some of these, but he's got speed, and it's just hard to see him letting Diversify lope along in the lead. And I think, if nothing else, it's going to make him a key player to see how this race is run.
We'll find out how fast he is. Diversify is very fast. They're both horses that love to run on the front end. And he's right. We'll find out early whether a Fleet Willie can keep up with Diversify.
Thanks very much, Greg. Happy to be here on such an exciting day of racing at Charlestown. Of course, the day is headlined by the $1.2 million Charlestown Classic later today. Now, the interesting thing about the race is that it is at 1 1/8, so it's 9 furlongs in distance. However, we are currently at a track that is only 6 furlongs in circumference. So to just give you a little bit of an idea of what a big difference that is, this track is 6 furlongs. Aqueduct main track is 9 furlongs in circumference, and the Belmont main track is actually 12 furlongs in circumference. So this race, or this 6 furlongs, you could fit double into the Belmont main track. But so that does mean they will break on the backstretch, in the middle of the backstretch, and go 3 turns around the main track here. So it definitely makes things interesting. And guys, the turns here are very tight too. So you kind of have to go into the race with a plan. You have to be in a perfect position at the top of the stretch in order to have success here.
Gabby, thank you very much. So as she explained, 3 turns in positioning in a race like that becomes crucial as we take a look at the races we have coming up from the Big A this afternoon. Race 6 will kick off that Naira Bets late pick 5. It is a $40,000 maiden claiming event on the outer turf at 6 furlongs. That 7th race, an allowance optional claiming field. And race 8 at 1 mile. On the main track, the New York Stallion Series Park Avenue division for 3-year-old fillies is race 9 at 6.5 furlongs. Cross country pick 4 coming up as well this afternoon. You can play it at NairaBets.com, merging great racing at Aqueduct and Charlestown. Sequence starts in race 10 at Charlestown, continues with the 8th at Aqueduct. Race 11, the Charlestown Classic, concludes with race 9 here in New York. You can play it nationwide online by selecting XP4 or on track by asking for the cross country pick 4. 3 races today from Charlestown, not just the big one, of course. We'll lead up to it with the coin collector and the dance to Bristol. Fillies and mares, 4 and up, traveling 7 furlongs in race 10 on the card. As we get a look.
You get
And
4.5
Charlestown
furlongs
Racing.
at the coin collector. I thought that was an interesting race considering you draw a lot of horses in there. Make sure you check your rider changes. A ton of different rider changes in race number 9 at Charlestown.
Yeah, we'll bring those all to you coming up in just a little bit. We're going to get back here to New York. Again, the Naira Bets Late Pick 5 begins in the 6th, and we have our post parade coming up. We start with Geo Lucky. 6 furlongs here on the outer turf. This horse off the claim for Gary Gullo.
Has never run in a sprint on the turf, so if he's going to be successful on the turf, it will be sprinting.
Joseph Parker trains See This Quick.
One turf spot start was not good, is now going to drop back down to 40.
Blinkers come off and turf debut for Tammany Giant.
Tries the turf for the first time as a half-to-1 turf winner.
Spa Shakalaka drops in class and gets on grass.
That will happen on July 20th.
Big scratches. 5, 6, and 7 are out. Here's the 8 Guy American Dream for Randy Prasad.
So that is, Hector Diaz and Randy Persuade. Off a nice little finish last time out, 3rd place finish.
Rain Charger is the 9 at 17-1.
He's a live long shot with a bug rider that didn't run as badly on the turf as his finish may suggest.
And Freeload on the outside. He had a tough trip his first turf try.
Yeah, he had a couple tough trips, but now they're going to geld him. They're going to drop him, and if he's going to go, it's going to go today. I'm surprised he's the favorite, though, at 2-1.
There it is. It is back to Naira Bets Late Pick 5. The last 5 races on the card. Paid over $36,000 last Saturday. Once again proving it is one of the absolute best values in racing. You can play it online every day with Naira Bets or on track in New York. Starts in just a few moments. Coming up, play it at NairaBets.com. And Paul, you put one together for us.
Yeah, I thought this was a very difficult sequence because in this race, Tom's Music, I was going to single. So it sort of threw my whole pick 5 into, I'm a little monkey wrench. So I went 2-4-10. I do like 3-8-9 in race number 7. Goodbye, Broccoli. Race number 8, 1, 3, 6, and 7. Probably the 3 Dynamite Prime. Horoscope could win that race if he's ready. Race number 9, the Fure Per Silver, I'm not in love with. The 9, Orchid Party, I am not in love with. Going to be reeling back in 3 days. Battle of Saratoga, I'm taking a shot in the last with Graham Motion. Son of Union Rag is going to get on the turf for the first time.
Tough race, tough sequence to find a single, which makes it a great sequence to play. We want to remind everyone watching the races today, play along from home. Bet with Naira Bets. A new member earns a $200 sign-up bonus. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage. And $200 in your account within 14 days, just like that. Go to NairaBets.com. Enter that promo code LIVE to take advantage for that $200 sign-up promotion. Take advantage of that today. Getting close to $40,000 and growing in that Naira Bets Late Pick 5 pool. Fast and firm here in New York with more on today's action from Aqueduct. Let's check in with Paddock analyst Maggie Wolfendale.
Greg, thank you. And we just saw horses getting onto the turf to make their way back to the 6 furlong start. They actually come on at the finish line and take a stroll along the outside rail of the turf course. But I want to check in with a horse coming in off of a layoff, also taking a drop in class and getting on the turf for the first time is number 4, Spa Shakalaka. Now, I've seen these Shacklefords take to the turf in the right kind of way, and I think this guy physically is built to be a turf sprinter, and he comes back here for Jeremiah Englehart. He looks fit. He just looks more athletic overall than what he did as a 2-year-old, and that's typical, and that's what you want to see, a horse progressing physically. I think he deserves quite a look here, and obviously people are, as he's 3-1, but at 2-1 on the outside, a bit surprising, as Paulie alluded to. He's number 10, Freeload, for trainer Dave Canizzo. This guy returns as a new gelding, also taking the blinkers off here today, and gets back to the conditions that he ran his best race ever, 2 starts back over this Aqueduct turf course, going 6 furlongs. That race was a lot tougher, to say the least, and this guy comes back in here very fit. And Dave Canizzo is not necessarily known for getting his horses to fire right off of a layoff, but they usually look as though they need that proverbial race. This guy, not necessarily. He was a bit obstreperous to get the tackle, in which you would think that the gelding would help with that, and he's very much on his toes out on the racetrack, so wouldn't be surprised if we may see, that's a big maybe, a little more speed than what this guy has shown in the past, especially given the fact he's taking all this money, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. So he's your 2-1 favorite from an outside post. He had a 7-wide trip in that turf debut 2 starts back.
No, he was actually on the rail on the turn. He angled out too wide in the stretch and drifted late. I thought he had a good trip. I just think he was running against much better horses, as Maggie suggested, and maybe he'll be more mature today. This is not that tough a field, an easier spot than his first turf race.
So we'll see how he fares here in his 4-year-old debut. Son of Tappet out of a Rahi mare. Plenty of turf pedigree as we get a look here at Guy American Dream, who's making his turf debut.
Yeah, Guy American Dreams. You see the horses getting the load. You see the pick bar. I thought the one, Jockey, was the horse that might get dismissed first time in the Gary Goulot barn. And the reason why is you look at the first 2 starts, they were going a little bit longer on the turf, but sprinting on the dirt has been better. So I'm hoping at 4-1 is the right price.
My problem with the one is they're betting him off of his dirt races, though 4-1 is probably fair in this field.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Yeah.
Here's Spa Shakalaka, second start, first on grass, and he puts blinkers on. A lot of changes for this son of Shackelford, trained by Jeremiah Engelhardt. It is the start of the Naira Bets late pick 5 sequence, last chance to get down. It's presented by Claiborne Farm, and we get set with our first live race here on Saturday at the races from Aqueduct. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown. For the call, here's Larry Colmus.
And now the last 2 are moving into the starting gate. Rain Charger moving into line, and at 9-5, Freeload and Jose Lescano will complete the line here. Steps forward to the outside stall. They're all in line, ready for the start. They're off. Tangled beginning there for See This Quick, who's left behind as Spa Shakalaka takes the lead. Guy American Dream away second. Right behind them, Freeload is third. Then comes Rain Charger in fourth, backing off 4 lengths from the early clip. Then comes Jockey, followed by Tammany Giant to the outside. And See This Quick, who took up at the start, is way out of it as Spa Shakalaka leads the way through a 22.29 quarter and heads for the turn and neck in front. Guy American Dream on the outside is second, and now Freeload has been guided to the rail to save ground on the turn inside of Rain Charger, just in behind the pacemakers. Tammany Giant circles up 3 wide, and right behind them comes Jockey, and they're coming toward the top of the stretch here. And the leader is Spa Shakalaka. Guy American Dream on the outside is second. Freeload is now finding room between those 2 and starts to come on. And Freeload with a clear shot at Spa Shakalaka. 1 furlong to run. Spa Shakalaka. Freeload draws up alongside. These 2 down to the wire together. Battling on from the inside is Spa Shakalaka, who would not be denied. Holds off Freeload. Jockey ended up third. Then a photo between Guy American Dream and Tammany Giant in 1 minute, 8.60 seconds.
Well, it became a 2-horse race down the stretch. When Freeload came to Spa Shakalaka, he found more down on the inside. 3-win day for Manny Franco, who took the first 2 on the card.
Spa Shakalaka looked like he was beat. I mean, the 10 of that trip, he looked like he had all the momentum. Paul, I think what Freeload did there is what we call an equine chandelier.
Yeah, the 10 looked like when he got out was going to go right on by the 4, but Spa Shakalaka, if you can see the left-handed urging here by Manuel Franco, when the 10 came right up to him, he stayed away from the whip and just sort of hand-rode. Just a little bit of flagging there late, but was never going to go by.
And he was actually drawing off from that one, the 10, and maybe Freeload needed the race, coming off of a bit of a layoff, but you can't get a better trip than, not that the winner got a bad trip, but you can't get a better trip than Freeload got.
And when you look at the inside horses, the 1 and the 2 in here, now the 1 got off to an okay start and did not run that well. Now the 2, if we go back to the start, See This Quick, just got demolished in the beginning. I don't know if it would have made any difference because the 4 and the 10 were so clear, but let's go back to the beginning. Watch the 2 horses get sort of pinched between the 1 and the 3 and sort of his race is over with.
Kind of broke slowly as well, the number 2. I'm surprised to See This Quick, frankly, took as much money as he did, especially considering his 1 turf races. He was basically eased in that start. The best 2 horses may have had the best trips, but they ran 1-2.
Spa Shakalaka, 5-2, second choice to start off this Naira Bets late pick 5 sequence. And finds a little extra gear mid-stretch when challenged. We'll have the prices when we come back. We're going to take a break. They're the 2 heavyweights in the Charlestown Classic. Diversify will try to use his speed to set the tone for his 2018 season, while War Story is hoping his experience on the surface puts him over the top.
This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer by Tapit has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked #1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make NYRA Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NYRA Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NYRABets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NYRA Bets, racing's best play.
Hello, Greg.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
In the Hudson Valley, is that it?
I'm not hearing music anymore.
Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
Back on Saturday at the races, and there's the Washington Irving House, author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and other great short stories. Ichabod Crane. Rip Van Winkle, who became a tremendous racehorse. We have our own Ichabod Crane on the set.
Ichabod Crane was a terrific racehorse as well. I think he's currently a jumper now, right? Not like a show jumper or something, Ichabod Crane?
Oh, you may be right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really nice horse.
Play along from home wherever you may be, or if you're watching on the app, $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use that promo code LIVE to take advantage and play these races anywhere, anytime at NYRABets.com. We are underway in this NYRA Bets Late Pick 5. It was Spa Shakalaka. It is still unofficial to this point, but 4-10-1-8 unofficially.
Don't you remember those great games in NBA Jams? Shakalaka.
I do remember those.
That's what Clyde Drexler dunking on someone, or Thunder Dan Marley.
Slamma-jamma days.
Spa Shakalaka.
Oh, this was a great stretch duel for Shakalaka here, and he got a test from Freeload, and he put him away.
Yeah, no, he was very game. It's funny, you wouldn't have thought that he was going to hold off the 10 in the stretch, but he held him off, and he was game.
And it has become official now, $7.70 for Spa Shakalaka. First time on the grass for the son of Shackelford, trained by Jeremiah Englehart, owned by Adam Magcourt and Manny Franco. Not a bad day so far. 3 already after taking the first, the early double on the card.
Yeah, David Cohen, he had a winner earlier, almost got the win there with Gio Lucky. But Manny Franco seems like he's stringing these races and getting better and better as the meet goes longer and longer.
Manny's just a consistently good rider. Nice to see Adam Magcourt as a Saratogian actually get the win as an owner.
Yeah.
All right, so race 6 in the books. NYRA Bets celebrating the $1.2 million Grade 2 Charlestown Classic. with a second chance cash back. Bet $20 to win on one horse in the Charlestown Classic. You get your $20 back if your horse finishes second. See all the details at NYRABets.com.
So how do you approach that? Would you go for a little bit of a price?
A lot of ways to go after that. But you know this, you either get a win, or if you run second, you get your money back. So you got to play. Got to get down, be in it to win it. Well, after beating up on New York Bred Company by bigger and bigger margins, the connections of Diversify decided bigger goals should be in his future. And he did not disappoint when he stepped up into Grade 1 company for the very first time. He won the Jockey Club Gold Cup at Belmont. That makes him the horse to beat as we take a look at our contenders for the Charlestown Classic.
Diversify digs in. Keen Ice on the outside, and Pavel can't get him. Diversify has won the Jockey Club Gold Cup.
The Gold Cup was Diversify's third win in his last 4 starts. Jockey Irad Ortiz Jr. is back on board for the 5th straight race, but this mile and an 1/8 contest is not your usual 2-turn race. The Charlestown Classic is run around a 6-furlong oval encompassing 3 turns along the way.
Hopefully he liked the 3 turns. I mean, I don't know how he gonna make, how he gonna be on that 3 turns. Some horses don't like it. Hopefully he like it. It's a nice horse, and hopefully we got some speed, and he'll love to be in front. Hopefully we on the lead.
On Diversify's inside is War Story with jockey Javier Castellano, who has won 3 of the 9 previous runnings. War Story returns to the Classic with something to prove, beaten just a half length last year.
I love the horse. I fall in love with the horse. I rode a few times, and I think we have been successful in the past. We won the Brooklyn Handicap here in New York and Belmont. He's such a great horse because he's adjustment every single track. You know, he went in Tampa last time. He rode such a great race. I think I'm satisfied. I'm being very optimistic for the Charlestown Classic.
Coming off a Grade 3 win just 2 weeks ago, Discreet Lover could be the one to watch coming from off the pace.
Discreet Lover on the far outside, coming the best. Control Group is 4th. Backside of the moon, they're coming down to the line, and it is Discreet Lover.
Discreet Lover is going to have a lot of people in this game in his corner. We'll have more on that story with Gabby Gaudet from Charlestown coming up in just a little bit. But he certainly is a player in this race off the best performance of his career. That was a win right here at Aqueduct in the Grade 3 Excelsior as we take a look at the field.
Discreet Lover is going to have to step his game up. The field is tougher. He did have some trouble to start last time and got it done. And I'll tell you something, I think that Fear the Cowboy can win this race as well. I do not see this as a 2-horse race. You've got Something Awesome, who's an improving horse, who beat horses that ran well coming back in that Excelsior. And this field is not just about the big 2. Right?
Fear the Cowboy's making his 30th start at his 15th different racetrack. He's been all over the place.
And you know what? Amazing. He runs well all the time.
He does. He brings his A game. 9 wins, 7 seconds for Fear the Cowboy. 9-2 on the morning line. Post time 5:36 Eastern for the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic. We're going to take a break in the action. Much more ahead on Saturday at the races. Racing.
Fight back on the far side for George Duffield. They race head-to-head. Giants Causeway.
Racing lost a giant recently, but his legend lives on. We'll look back at the enormous impact of Giants Causeway when we come back.
Turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back here in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
Coming on strong. Coming on strong.
Here's Minute to Stardom, making her papa proud. The Star Guitar filling.
Coming on.
Testing 1-2 is all alone. She comes to the 16th pole, and this one is all over but the crying. Iona Star was a star today, won it easily by 3.5.
My love for you coming on strong.
Later today in the Charlestown Classic, and you're right.
This race because we gave him a
We're back. It's Saturday at the races. That is trainer Uriah St. Louis. He campaigns Discreet Lover, who race fans all across the country, many of them will be pulling for in what would be a very great story if this horse could cross the wire first. Jose Flores was the regular rider of this horse. In fact, he guided this horse to his first ever stakes win late last year. Jose Flores, of course, died last month from complications from injuries that happened during a spill at Parks. He never regained consciousness after the spill. He passed away at the age of 57 years old, had a long and successful career in Pennsylvania where he won several riding titles, and at Parks he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2013. We're going to send it back out now to Charlestown with more on Discreet Lover, a horse that Jose Flores used to ride. Let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Here with trainer Uriah St. Louis, who will send out Discreet Lover later today in the Charlestown Classic. And Uriah, obviously Jose Flores was aboard him, I think, 21 times of his 37 starts. How emotional was the victory last time out in the Excelsior?
It was very emotional because Jose was everything to us. He used to ride all my horses, and then when he got hurt, well, I mean, he didn't get hurt, he died. And when that happened, I say every race that Discreet Lover run this year, I'll dedicate to him.
And what was he like as a competitor? What was your relationship like with Jose?
Well, we fight like families, and then we come back. But he was such an easygoing guy. Sometimes I'm upset after a race is run, and he come and he just tap me on the shoulder and say, just relax. And what he could do, all he could do is relax, but he was such a nice guy, We will always miss him. And he's always with us. He's always with Discreet Lover and my whole family. And I want to say, if we win this race, to Joanne, we're dedicating this race to him too, again.
Absolutely. The entire racing community definitely misses his presence. And to shift gears a little bit, Uriah, and talk about Discreet Lover later today, what could you tell us about him? Have you been kind of pointing for the Charlestown Classic, or did you just think, well, he's doing well, let's run him?
No, January 1st or 2nd, I called the stake coordinator, and she told me it was up in the air because something was going on in West Virginia where they wasn't sure if they was going to run the race. And that's how early I was looking forward to this race, because we gave him a break in December, and we said we could get maybe 1 or 2 races into him and then run him in the Charlestown Classic. But we were pointing for this from the start.
All right. Well, best of luck later today, and we'll all be pulling for you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Greg.
Back to you, Greg.
Gabby, thank you. It was a tragic loss for the entire racing community. Jose Flores won over 4,600 races in his career. Actually, on the advice of Scott Lake, he wound up moving from Penn National, where he won several riding titles, to Parks. Won over 1,200 races for Scott Lake of his over 5,800 wins. He had quite a phenomenal career. Of course, he was married to former jockey Joanne McDade Flores. They have a 7-year-old son together, Julian, and he has 2 grown sons, Juan and Junior as well.
I think we take for granted what these great athletes, risk with their lives every day. Every time they get on a racehorse, every race, they're risking their lives. And our hearts and everything go out to the family of the Flores family. And, all of us are rooting for Uriah.
Oh, and it was great on our show, actually, just a few weeks ago. We got to see that win in the Excelsior from the Discreet Lover. Here's our post parade for the coin collector, 4.5 furlongs, as we take a look at Mr. Jacoby at 44-1.
Yeah, Mr. Jacoby here. This is a rider change here. Johnny McKee, the trainer, and some decent efforts, a couple of third-place finishes.
Like the Storm for John Carlisle.
Speed of the Speed might be overmatched.
True Air the Ford is J.D. Acosta now on board, the son of Wildcat Air. We'll see here in a moment at 51-1. Not yet on the racetrack. It's still in the paddock.
Yeah, 1-for-9 lifetime. This horse likes to launch from way back at 6.5 furlongs. I don't know how far back he's going to be at 4.5, but maybe that's why he's 51-1 if you can get him out of the paddock.
Costa about to get a leg up here shortly. And here's a look at the 5 Opera Knight, Arnaldo Bocachica, trained by Jeff Runco.
Cuts back 2.5 furlongs from his maiden win. He, too, may be overmatched.
This post parade happened a few moments ago here. Jax Braden Rishi here, the 6, who was one of the morning line favorites.
Yeah, Gerald Malvador, a lot of people that don't watch Charlestown a lot. He's one of the leading riders there, and so is Amy Albright. This is very good connections here on the 6.
Carlos Delgado, rider change on the 7, Castle 5.
60-1 for a reason.
Dionysus Chalice comes in off a win last out.
Now, the 8, Boca Chica rode that horse last time. He leaves to go to the 5. Maybe that's why this horse is 23-1.
9 a scratch, and all the money right now on this horse right here. William and Mary 1-5 on the board.
And the 1 to beat in here at 1-5. I mean, I put this horse on top. 4 for 6 lifetime. All 4 wins at Charlestown, and does draw all the way back into the 8 with the 1 and the 9 scratch.
And in from the also eligible list, Eagle Pride on the outside. A recent gelding who was a winner at 2-5 first out.
Off for over 4 months, but as you say, comes back first time as a gelding.
So 4.5 furlongs in this State Bred Stakes race here coming up. And what do you guys think? William and Mary, are there any challengers here to this heavy 1-5 favorite?
I can't pronounce his name, but Jax Braden Irish.
I don't think I could either.
Greg, I was so impressed that you managed to get that out. You didn't sound like you knew it beforehand. Feels to be the main contender, but I'm not trying to beat William and Mary here. And Paul, I think William and Mary's your alma mater, isn't it?
No, I wish. It's actually a very, very good school. I went to Arizona State. Nothing to knock down the Sun Devils, but William and Mary is a very good school. But you're right. Listen, when you look at a field like this, you have to pay attention to the rest of the runners in here. He's a 4-time winner. A lot of these other horses, besides the 6 and the 8, are 3-time winners, are all 1-time winners. 10's got a big advantage there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're looking for a chink in his armor, is that he's a horse that's probably looking to go on to bigger and better things, because he's running some bigger races, and he's gone at longer distances. But he began his career at Charlestown winning 2 races at 4.5 furlongs. So he's shown to be adept to the distance, and he just appears to be faster. I don't like 1-5, but he looks like he's supposed to win.
And one of those wins, it was the second of his careers. We're taking a look at him here. This is your 1-5 favorite there. He won by 4.5 furlongs at that short of a distance. It's a big win.
No, you're dead right. And you got a 75 Beyer speed figure. And to put into perspective, most of the horses in here are running 40 and 50 Beyer speed figures. And at 4.5 furlongs, that's about 6 or 7 lengths. So if he shows up, he's a very likely winner.
And you put into context, 52 is usually the barometer at about 4.5 furlongs. This horse, usually they run a little bit slower there at Charlestown. He won from the 10 hole on debut, running about 52-3. There's nobody in here that can really run with him besides the 6.
And the other thing, Andy, I mean, he doesn't have to have the lead to win, does he?
Well, that's I think really the question. He has 1 stalking, his 4th career start. He did sit second, but there's a big difference between sitting second and being cruising along on the front end, and breaking towards the outside. He figures to get a good stalking trip.
Here's True Air, and he's finally showed up to the party here, the 51-1 shot, and then with J.D. Acosta aboard. He has tried William and Mary on a few occasions, and the closest he got, a distant second, beat 5.5 lengths.
Yeah, this is a tough read on the 4 because the 4 and the 7, they were listed at different jockeys. They just switched here, and they're both 50 to 1. But J.D. Acosta, pretty darn good jockey to be at that price. And look at the couple of races at 4.5 furlongs at Charlestown does have an open length win.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's 50 to 1 for a reason. I mean, the truth is, the lone major contender against the 10 on paper is the 6, who at least is improving.
Yeah.
We're going to head back here to New York in the post parade for race 7. Mile and a 16th on the turf. State bred allowance optional 80 race here. Purely lucky for trainer Brad Cox.
Brad Cox is a dynamite trainer and a new trainer on the scene. And this horse is A-OK and one of the main players. Overbet, though, at 8 to 5.
Yeah, he's the favorite right now. Here's a 3, Breezy Gal for Linda Rice.
I like Breezy Gal. This horse has run okay on the dirt, but the pedigree screams turf.
Codrington for David Donk has Dylan Davis aboard.
You know, went a little bit shorter last time. Now we'll stretch out, going a little longer in her 3-year-old debut.
Big price in turf debut for VIP Nation.
Yeah, there's not enough turf pedigree to take this horse. Would need to move forward quite a bit.
6 horse at 16 to 1. Alley to Cavalry turf debut.
Yeah, won first time out and paid over $50 on the dirt. Now going to stretch her legs around 2 turns.
Eric Cancel on Forever Daisy, back recently from an injury.
Not impossible. Her last race on the Aqueduct turf was good enough to give her a chance.
Goodbye Broccoli, the 8 turf debut came last start and it was a win, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it was surprising. It's the daughter Causeway, not out of a Powers Court mare. She should like the distance.
Pause for the cause. Daughter of Giants Causeway, 9 to 2.
She has talent and she has speed. They have her to catch.
And there's Flat Calm for Linda Rice, another one trying the turf for the first time.
Sort of the wild card horse. I'm surprised this horse taking no money from 6 to 1 to 14 to 1.
And there is the 2 who we skipped over here. This is Formal Event. Gary Contessa, another one trying the grass for the first time.
Winner last time out in the maiden 30, just on a straight turn mile. Now going to try the turf for the first time.
Approaching the 6-minute mark to post in New York. We send it back to Charlestown now for the coin collector at 4.5 furlongs. And it is the 10, William and Mary, the horse to beat by a large margin, looking for the 5th win in 7 career starts. Paul Espinoza has the call.
Next up will be the heavy favorite, William and Mary. Currently at 1 to 5. Tri-state winner goes in, and the last one in will be Eagle Pride. He's a full brother to 2-time Breeders' Classic champion Charitable Annuity. He goes in. Looks like the rider is off of Jack's Braden Rishi. Gerald Almodovar climbing back aboard. Set for a start. Opera Night a bit restless. And they're off in the coin collector. An alert beginning for Jack Sprade and Rishi and the favorite William and Mary away well too. Dionysus Chalice in between and Castle 5 also right there. Opera Night forwardly placed. He's in 5th and only 2.5 lengths away from the top spot, which is hotly contested. Further back comes Eagle Pride, then Light the Storm, Mr. Jacoby, and the trailer is True Air. They race for that far turn and the favorite William and Mary is up to take the lead over Dionysus Chalice. He whistled a quarter in 22 and 1. William and Mary up top here by a length over Dionysus Chalice, who's now 2 lengths behind in second. Opera Night sets down for the drive, and here comes Opera Night up and after William and Mary. Looks like these two will have it to themselves, turning for home. It's William and Mary and Opera Night going to make him earn it, but look at William and Mary level off. William and Mary, a confident look back from Antonio Lopez. The coin collector trophy's coming home to Taylor Mountain Farm. William and Mary dominates the coin collector by 4. Opera Night was second, and then Dionysus Chalice for third the final time, 52 and 1.
That was as easy as could be for William and Mary. You saw jockey Antonio Lopez taking a peek behind, and he was geared down late. Wins at 2 to 5 on the board. Heavy favorite takes the coin collector at Charlestown. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Saturday at the races right after this.
It's Run Happy in front. Limousine Liberal, Holy Boss can get him. Run Happy has won the Naira.com King's Bishop by 4.
Here with Eric Zimney, the Vice President of Racing Operations here at Charlestown. And Eric, you can already feel the buzz right now, but
we are back and glad to have everyone with us watching. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday afternoon on a big Charlestown Classic day. Grade 2, $1.2 million purse. Important race early in the season here in that handicap division. That is still to come. Out in West Virginia. Right now you're looking live at Aqueduct, and that is Pause for the Cause. 3-year-old filly will carry on the legendary legacy of her daddy, Giants Causeway, who died Monday night at Ashford Stud in Versailles, Kentucky, following a brief illness at the age of 21. He was Europe's 2000 Horse of the Year, and even though this was a defeat, it was a defining moment for him. His only try on dirt when he came to the U.S. for the first and only time as well, and just barely missed against Tisnow.
Tisnow showing that great grit. I mean, and here's him winning the 2000 Coral Eclipse, beating some pretty darn good horses. Well, Calanisi, Fantastic Light, Saki, who came back and got beat by Tisnow the year after.
Right. Calanisi won the Breeders' Cup Turf that year at Churchill, and Fantastic Light, also a great horse as well, of course, as you mentioned, Saki.
You can argue the greatest son of Storm Kit.
Put together a run of 5 consecutive Group 1 wins that started at the St. James's Palace, was a champion on the track. He was a dominant sire in the U.S., and he sired champions on 5 different continents, never worse than second in his career.
Yeah, and he had a damn Mariah Storm. For a lot of people that don't know, there was a movie, I know a different movie, called The Dreamer, about Mariah Storm, her dam, so the pedigree was also there.
I always thought The Dreamer was a story of Paula Duca.
It could be.
That was another, Dreamer Part 2. By the way, Giants Causeway, the scientists just recently discovered the mystery of how it was formed in Northern Ireland 50 to 60 million years ago. So that's a pretty neat story.
That's cool.
Post time for race 7, mile and a 16th on the turf. Coming up with more on this field, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And I don't need to elaborate on how good your inside runner and Purely Lucky looks off the bench. She's ready to go, as the money would suggest. But Codrington, she's also coming off of a layoff as well for Dave Donk. And I like this filly getting back to a turf route. She looks ready to go, and she was pretty sharp in the paddock as well. So Codrington, she did some good running as a 2-year-old. I think she can build upon that as a 3-year-old. Moving on to number 8, Goodbye Broccoli. We haven't seen her since early on in her 2-year-old season when she finally got to the turf and won. That was going 6 furlongs. She'll try to go long today, coming off that layoff for trainer Phil Serpy, and looking at her, she looked absolutely fantastic. Dappled head to toe, well conditioned, and the way that she's relaxed more in her demeanor suggests to me that she will handle this mile and a 16th, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. This, by the way, starts the late pick 4, which you can play through Naira Bets. Go to nairabets.com. Our show brought to you in part by Run Happy, standing in legendary stall 1 at Claiborne Farm. Just about all loaded for the start of the pick 4. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York racing, Larry Colmus.
They're all in line, and we are ready for a start. They're off. Pause for the Cause stumbled as the gates opened. VIP Nation goes out to the front. Pause for the Cause after that. Early Bobble goes up on the outside while Breezy Gal is on the rail, and to the far outside, Flat Calm is taken back. Then Codrington to the inside, followed by Goodbye Broccoli. Purely Lucky is next by 4. Formal Event is next, and Alley to Calvary is the trailer as they race for the turn. And it will be Breezy Gal to take up the running here. Breezy Gal. Pause for the Cause, a length and a half behind on the outside. VIP Nation's in between horses. Codrington is at the rail. 24.75 was the opening quarter mile, a moderate tempo. Flat Calm, 5th to the backstretch, and outside of horses, moving up 3.5 lengths from the front. Then Purely Lucky. John Velasquez has Purely Lucky 4.5 behind, racing inside of Goodbye Broccoli and Forever Daisy, and they've got 4.5 lengths on Formal Event and Alley to Calvary after a 50.17 half mile. Pause for the Cause pokes a neck in front. Breezy Gal to the inside, continues to battle on, second by 2, then VIP Nation, followed by Flat Calm and Codrington to the inside. Forever Daisy's out there 4 deep into the turn. And they're followed by Goodbye Broccoli. Purely Lucky, still about 6 lengths off the lead, and now taken to the outside for a clear run as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Pause for the Cause, turning for home with the lead. Forever Daisy on the outside, runs up alongside. Breezy Gal is there. VIP Nation dives down toward the inside. Purely Lucky's got a lot of work to do in the center of the course. They have to catch Pause for the Cause, who's in front close to home. Purely Lucky is coming now on the outside. VIP Nation is down toward the rail. VIP Nation, Purely Lucky, Pause for the Cause. VIP Nation at 62-1. Purely Lucky was second. Pause for the Cause was third. Goodbye Broccoli fourth and 145.16.
62-1 shot VIP Nation. Second longest price on the board with a shocker here in the 7th.
Without question, this is a shocker and a real possibility of a gigantic pick 5, Naira Betts late pick 5 carryover. Don't know how you make this one on paper, but you know what? Never ran on the turf, Paul, and obviously improved dramatically. There may have been a lot of tough trips in this race.
Yeah, Son of Painter really loved the turf today. And what a ride by David Cohen is he's going to get a double on the day and goes right by the 9 here. The 1 had a launch from so far back, and this is obviously going to blow everything up here in a $130 winner, but he did a good job of keeping this horse engaged and then getting him to the rail and beating the horse to the spot.
And a tough beat for Pause for the Cause because he stumbled at the start. She stumbled at the start, and she wasn't able to consume the lead. They went very slow up front, and I think, frankly, the rider, Breezy Gal, did a real favor to Pause for the Cause by going so slowly and enabling her to just ease herself into the race. But still, you do wonder if Pause for the Cause hadn't stumbled, would she have been able to win the race with a clean trip?
2 today for David Cohen. VIP Nation, 62-1 for VIP. Stable trained by Gary Contessa. It's his first winner of the meet, and the filly by Painter comes up with a win. And it was close for second, but Purely Lucky just nudging out the 9 there. Pause for the Cause. Meanwhile, back at Charlestown, heavy favorite William and Mary takes the coin collector and does so with ease.
Yeah, congratulations to the connections in here. Antonio Lopez, James Casey, Windsor Castle out of the Hare Mare de May, now 5 for 7 lifetime and pushes his gelding's earnings over $130,000.
$2.80, one that a lot of people have. We're going to take a break. Jockey Javier Castellano calls an audible. He seeks a first Kentucky Derby win while he bolted to the Florida Derby winner. We'll have that story when we come back on Saturday at the races.
International Super Sire Warfront. Among his 34 stakes horses in 2017 were Grade 1 winners American Patriot, Avenge, Roly Poly, War Flag, and Europe's champion 2-year-old colt, U.S. Navy Flag. Last year, Warfront was the nation's #1 sire in multiple categories. In the sales ring, his yearlings continue to bring prices well over $1 million. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Park.
Back on Saturday at the races, and still to come, the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic, and something awesome. He has been just that. He's won 4 of his last 5, including his first try at 1 1/8 last time out in the Harrison Johnson Memorial. Looking forward to that race coming up from West Virginia on their premier day of racing. Meanwhile, back in New York, an absolute shocker that has knocked, I think, just about everybody out of their exotics here. VIP Nation, $127.50 for the win.
You don't want to jump the gun, but this is not an easy sequence. And
No.
this Naira Bets late pick 5, which had a pool of just about $60,000, we could be looking at a carryover in the Naira Bets late pick 5 of over $50,000 tomorrow. And you better sign up for Naira Bets if you're not a member, because you will want to be involved if this thing carries. There will be huge value in that bet, huge value.
By the way, the pick 3 paid $9,000 for $1 going into VIP Nations. Congratulations to VIP Stable. It looks like they'd be in the VIP section tonight.
If I had it for $1, I think I would have gotten even for the Aqueduct. It was my opportunity.
Send it back down 4.5 hours southwest of Aqueduct, back to Charlestown, to Gabby Gaudet to wrap up the coin collector. Gabby?
Thank you very much, Greg. Actually standing with owner Jerry Bordalazzo, who does send out Ascertain coming up next, and also You're to Blame in the Charlestown Classic. Now, Jerry, you were an emergency room doctor for 30 years. What got you into this game?
I had to relax. Emergency medicine for 30 years did me in. So my dad started taking me to Bay Meadows when I was a kid, $1 better. And I started reading the racing form when I was 10, and I hoped one day I'd own some racehorses, and it happened. So.
Well, you said you got into this game to relax, but you do send out the favorite coming up next. What are the emotions like today?
Oh, tremendous. Javi Castellanos is a friend of mine, and he's a great rider. He rode her last time out, and we won by 8 lengths, and he's on her today, and I'm just crossing my fingers.
And how does the camp feel about You're to Blame in the big race in the Charlestown Classic?
Well, Johnny V told us that You're to Blame and Vino Rosa really didn't like the dirt at Tampa. And Vino Rosa came back and won the wood. So and You're to Blame's been training great, and so I'm hoping she can pick it up. The War Story beat us pretty easily there, and we're hoping to run with him today.
Am I wrong in saying that you're looking for your first stakes victory?
Yeah, it's about 6 or 7 times I've been second. So if I can't get one, I'll just jump over this fence.
You'll just join them in the winner's circle regardless. Well, best of luck here coming up next.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, back to you, Greg.
Gabby, thank you very much. So we will see a couple of big shots to come, including Ascertain and the dance to Bristol for that ownership group. Want to remind everybody, tickets on sale now for the Belmont Stakes Racing Festival. Catch all the action of New York's premier 3-day racing festival, June 7th through the 9th, featuring the 150th running of the Belmont Stakes. Visit BelmontStakes.com for additional ticket and event details. The Belmont Stakes Racing Forward. Time now for what's trending, and we got Gronk all part of the game all of a sudden. He's going to be there in the Run for the Roses that first Saturday in May. Gronk has partnered with Phoenix Thoroughbreds to acquire a minority stake in Gronkowski, who has reeled off 4 consecutive wins. He said, I'm all in. He actually said he wanted to try and get on the horse. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't think he'll run any worse with him on him than he will without him on him.
No, but you know what? We've been hearing things that Tom Brady's retiring. At least we know Tom Brady will be coming to the Derby with Gronkowski.
Exactly. Hey, it makes the Derby more fun automatically,
100%.
doesn't it?
Takes away the takeout.
Whenever Gronk's in the house, it's always a party. That's going to be a lot of fun. Jeremy Nozeta, the trainer, said, I think Gronk and the horse, they're about the same size, same stature. Here's a look at the top 20. Gronk checks in there at number 20 on that list, but Magnum Moon, undefeated 3-year-old, did not start at 2, trying to buck that Apollo trend. Top of the list right now.
I think if the Apollo trend gets bucked this year, it'll be Justify, who likely will be the favorite. And Justify will be on my tickets. Magnum Moon, Paul, will not be on my tickets.
See, I'm going to take a different approach. I think they're both going to be on my tickets. I think they're both the best horses, to me, at least for 3-year-olds. I just think Magnum Moon, as soon as he hits the front, he wanders a little bit. I think a lot of people are wondering, oh, he's lugging out. He's not going to be able to get the 1.25 miles. I just think he gets lost when he gets on the front end. He's ultra talented, and they're the 2 most lightly raced horses in the race. I don't disagree with him, because Justify could be any kind. We really don't know.
Yeah, I want no part of Magnum Moon. I don't like his last race. I don't think he's going to win this race. Justify is scary. He probably is the most talented horse in here, whether or not that means he has the seasoning. I mean, what happens if somebody bumps him coming out of the gate? He's never faced adversity. I don't want to make picks in the Derby 2 weeks before it, but horses like Bolt d'Oro and Good Magic right now are very much on my list.
Well, Bolt d'Oro is definitely on the list, regardless of whether Castellano, whether you wanted to choose or not, or whether the jockey situation or not. Bolt d'Oro had to chase Justify around the racetrack with no pace. He's danced every dance. Of all the horses that are going to be in the Derby field, as a 2-year-old and as a 3-year-old, he's danced all the dances the best.
He's got the seasoning, and he had a rider who made an alternate call. Bolt d'Oro, Javier Castellano, was aboard. Instead, he opted to go elsewhere, and he will be on board Audible with more on that decision. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale, who caught up with him earlier this week.
Javier, I suppose it's a good problem to have and having to choose Derby mounts, but you did have to choose and you went to Audible. Talk a little bit about your decision to ride this Todd Pletcher trainee.
It really was a tough decision because you had to put it to the best horse, one of the best 2 horses in the country. And hard because, you know, you want to be competitive. You want to try to choose the best horses for the bigger race in the country. Is the Kentucky Derby, but at the same time, you have to show a little more loyalty. I think I decided to go with the loyalty, and I believe my business is over here in the East Coast, and I think that in being good to me all for many years, I think it should be support when they really need me to the bigger races. I'm glad to ride back the horse, the opportunity that he gave me to ride the Derby with Audible.
Well, best of luck with him on the first Saturday in May.
Thank you.
Oh, and you never know where those decisions can come back and be good or bad until you line up in the gate that first Saturday in May.
And it's not as though, even if Javier prefers Bolt d'Oro, it's not as though he's riding some bum in Audible.
Not at all.
And he's going to ride a ton of horses for Todd Pletcher, and he's not going to ride for Mick Ruiz. He has to make the decision he made, and he's, once again, not making a bad choice, even if he loses.
No, he's not. And here's the other deal about this, is that Bolt d'Oro for Mick Ruiz might be one of the better horses in California. Javier would not have flown to California to work the horse if he didn't think the horse is the real deal. The bottom line is Todd Pletcher is where he eats. And if you're going to put up one horse, Bolt d'Oro is going to be 6-1, one's going to be 7-1. He's got to choose where he eats.
Looking to the future and a lot of wins to come as well. But we'll see. That horse could make a big statement as well come that first Saturday in May. Next up at Charlestown, it is the dance to Bristol. 7 furlongs, and this is for fillies and mares 4 and up. We have another short price favorite. Oh, look who. Todd Pletcher, and the man that Javier bolted to in the Derby. He'll be riding Ascertain for the Pletcher barn here on a 4-year-old filly by Blame. And here comes our post parade as we take a look at Frosty Margarita.
Rudy Rodriguez and Irad Ortiz teaming up with a horse who's a little slow on paper.
Lake Pontchartrain is the 2, 5-1 on the board for trainer Ernest Haynes.
It is Xavier Perez in the iron. This mare loves to win races. 11 for 32 lifetime and 8 for 19 at the racetrack.
Oh, he's going to be in the Oaks. He's going to be in the Derby. He's our colleague Tom Amos. We wish him all the best. In spite of you, he sends out in this race.
He is 5 for 9. Tom Amos shipping to Charlestown. All 9 hit the board. Live long shot.
11-1 on his runner in this group. Reveter Gloria is the 4 for Russell Davis. 99-1 at least.
Off a win. I don't think I've seen a horse 99-1 off a win.
It was 7-2 in that win. In the Navy now is the 5 at Julian Pimentel on board for Michael Trombetta.
A fringe player who's cutting back a distance has improved in her recent starts.
And the Pletcher filly, the daughter of Blame, Ascertain with Javier on board. 1-2 last out and won by 8.5 lengths at Gulfstream.
Yeah, the first time in Todd's barn, she exploded. She might even improve more of this filly by Blame.
28-1 on Keep Your Distance. Horse who went gate to wire last time out at Laurel at 1 1/16.
She's no VIP Nation, but she would have to improve to win here.
And she's not quite that price either. And the 8 Angel at Warts, Joe Bravo for Mike Gorham.
Yeah, this is another horse that brings speed to the party. I would think Jersey Joe Bravo is going to have to press the issue from the outside.
3 minutes to post in the dance to Bristol from Charlestown. Purse of $100,000. We're going to take a break. Still ahead, Ascertain coming off a career best in Florida. Can she carry her Gulfstream Park form forward in the dance to Bristol? We will find out when we come back.
Play Plus provides a fast and easy way to make deposits and cash out of your NyraBets account. Make purchases with your Play Plus card everywhere Discover is accepted. Use your credit or debit card to fund Play Plus with high approval rates. Easily transfer funds from Play Plus directly into your NyraBets account. Enjoy instant withdrawals, no enrollment fees, and no monthly fees. Choose Play Plus for easy deposits. Sign up for your Play Plus account today at NyraBets.com.
This three-time graded stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and horse of the year Up With the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. Runner-up in the Grade 1 Manhattan and Shadwell Turf Mile, Ironicus ran 7 triple-digit buyers, including this score in the Fort Marcy Stakes. Half to 4 graded stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by Distorted Humor. Ironicus at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Saturday at the races, sign them up for So You Think You Can Dance. Look at these moves here, New York City street dancers getting after it.
Yeah, and for the bride-to-be, or she maybe just got married, or I don't know.
Logical place to go after the ceremony.
Every Monday you can catch Andy doing that same thing around where he lives in the city.
We know we can catch him part of this here. The cross-country pick 4, combining great racing from Aqueduct to Charlestown. It starts in the next race at Charlestown. Play it nationwide online by selecting XP4 or on track by asking for the cross-country pick 4. You can play it on NyraBets.com, of course, as well. Dance to Bristol. We'll kick things off in the sequence, and we go to Charlestown, West Virginia right now. 7 furlongs. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Those who just joined us, good to have you with us. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling, and out of Charlestown, Gabby Gaudet.
Thank you very much, guys, as we're getting ready and set for the Dance to Bristol Stakes. And the horse to beat here is the number 6, Ascertain. She was purchased at the Keelan November sale for about $125,000 and came back under Todd's conditioning and did win the race down at Gulfstream, in which she was working in the morning with some really impressive horses like Malagasy and Impact Player. So she looks to keep the ball rolling. She looks fantastic. She is dappled. She's healthy. She is really ticking ticking all the boxes here for me. But if you wanted to look at some other horses who maybe have some local experience, one of them would be the number 2 Lake Pontchartrain, and Xavier Perez is in the saddle, who obviously did ride at Dance to Bristol, the namesake here, to the Breeders' Cup as well. So I think that she definitely has a nice look to her. She's a classy filly. She was in the post parade without a pony. She's really not turning a hair. She's looking fantastic, and she is an 8-time winner locally. Last but certainly not least, the 5 in the Navy now for Mike Trombetta. Mike Trombetta has fantastic stats shipping into Charlestown. Actually, 17 for 57, about 30%, and he finishes well over 50% in the money. She will definitely need the well-timed move from closing from off the pace. She looks great in here as well. I do think, though, guys, that Ascertain looks like the horse to beat coming up next.
Gabby, thank you very much. The public seems to agree by a wide margin, 3-5 favoritism to the 6 Ascertain right now.
I think they're a little drunk on Todd Pletcher. Not that this horse isn't the horse to beat, and she ran terrific for Todd last time. She's never run another race that was close to that, so if you look at her other form, she's not even remotely the favorite here, and she may well win this race, but it's almost like they're saying, oh, Todd Pletcher came to our track. This horse can't lose. There's other good horses in here, Paul.
No, there is. I mean, the 2 Lake Pontchartrain, like Gabby was saying, 8-time winner. I like Frosty Margarita. I know the horse's races are a tiny bit slow, the 1, but I think that horse can maybe get a good trip because there is some pace in this race.
And Lake Pontchartrain is coming off her best career race, albeit at Mahoning Valley, but she's 8 for 19 at Charlestown, so she has that hometown edge. She ran very well in 3rd in a similar race to Sugar Maple on this date last year, but that was a tougher field that she lost to, and I think she's a major player, bigger price. And what about our friend Tom Amos? He's clearly shown he does not ship to Charlestown for the weather.
That's with In Spite of You, the 3. Here's a look at Blame, of course, the sire of Ascertain at Claiborne Farm. 2010, Claiborne was celebrating 100 years of breeding, raising, and racing horses. And that year, wouldn't you know it, Blame wins the biggest race there is, the Breeders' Cup Classic, beating previously undefeated Zenyatta in a sensational finish under the lights at Churchill Downs. 9 consecutive 100-plus buyers Blame ran, was named champion older male. And how about 111 buyer in the Classic and in the Whitney that year?
He's one of my all-time favorite horses.
Incredible campaign he put together in 2010. He was not named Horse of the Year.
But he was the best horse that year.
We are set for the start of this cross-country Pick 4. You can play it again at NYRABets.com. Ascertain the 6 for Todd Pletcher, the 1 to beat. Let's send it upstairs to Paul Espinosa at Charlestown for the call.
Keep your distance, and the last one in will be Angel at War. Under Joe Bravo, Angel at War goes in. They're in the gate. Ascertain a bit restless. Settled now. And they're off in the Dance to Bristol. Very good dispatch by all. From the outside, keep your distance, flashing speed as is. In Spite of You, Angel at War and Ascertain in between horses will sit fourth and just about 3 lengths away from Keep Your Distance. Riveter Gloria races along in 5th. Then Lake Pontchartrain, Frosty Margarita off the pace today. And the trailer is in the Navy now, who's already a dozen lengths away from Keep Your Distance. Ran a swift opening quarter of 23 seconds flat. And Keep Your Distance and Gerald Almodovar will show the way onto the backstretch in front by 2.5 over In Spite of You and Angel at War to the outside in 3rd. At the inside comes Ascertain in 4th, followed by Lake Pontchartrain and Frosty Margarita. Riveter Gloria and the trailer is in the Navy now. They begin to take closer order here past the 3/8 pole. The half win in 47 seconds flat. Keep Your Distance got a breather there that second quarter and heads into the turn with a 3-length lead. Angel at War is launching a 2-wide bid. Here comes Frosty Margarita under Irad Ortiz, making a 3-wide bid up and after the lead. Ascertain has to find more from 4th. Then Lake Pontchartrain and in the Navy now from the back, less than 3/16 to go. Angel at War has taken the lead from Keep Your Distance. Frosty Margarita took a run at her. Lake Pontchartrain and in the Navy now swing into action on the far outside. Wide open coming to this final 16th, Lake Pontchartrain. Here's Lake Pontchartrain rolling late under the X-Man, Xavier Perez. In the race named for his star filly, Dance to Bristol, he wins it with Lake Pontchartrain by 2 over Angel at War. Then in the Navy now and Ascertain.
Lake Pontchartrain starts off the cross-country Pick 4 with the victory. Nice pick, Andy Serling.
You know, She got an excellent trip, a very confident ride. With a short stretch, he knew he had horse.
You got to love the X-Man. Look at this. Is he pumped or what?
Stakes win on the biggest day of the year at that racetrack, and we still have the big one, of course, to come, the Charlestown Classic. We're back in New York on the main track here at a mile. New York-bred entry-level allowance. We start with Horoscope off a long layoff for Rudy Rodriguez.
Trainer switch to Rudy Rodriguez, absolutely the most talented horse in the race, but will he be ready off the layoff, and can he get the mile?
The big question, no doubt. Here's the 2 duel, Eric Cancel for David Donk.
Donk ready, a winner on the card. 1 for 10 lifetime long shot today at 20-1.
Dynamax Prime at 5-1 for George Weaver.
Just inconsistent and better run better than he did last time.
Discreet Mission came back off a long layoff, and he clearly needed it.
Yeah, he did need that race, the son of Discreet Cat, but he does have a couple races that go to that could play here.
Dylan Davis rides for Charlie Baker on the 5 Light the Vow.
Been in recent good form, but maybe a cut below.
Prophet's Cat at 5-1 on the board for trainer Gary Siaka.
Since he's gone to the sideline at 8-7, he's gotten a little bit better in his last 3 starts. He's going to have to improve a little more.
Manny Franco having a big day, 3 wins already. He's on swivel for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
My top pick cuts back to a 1-turn mile after a very tough wide trip last time.
Blame the Thief's been on the turf most recently, but his lone win did come on the main track.
Yeah, and a horse that's been working at Gulfstream Park West, you're right, does have a lone win on the main track, and not a bad price here at 7-1.
And JJ's dreaming on the outside, Trevor McCarthy. He has a win on today's card. Teams up with Mark Hennig.
If he can appreciate his cut back to 1 turn, he has an outside chance.
Approaching the 7-minute mark to post here for the 8th race, second leg of this cross-country pick 4 with more on this field. Let's check in with Maggie.
2-1 on the long layoff runner. Number 1, Horoscope, will return off of a year layoff this time around, though, for Rudy Rodriguez. This guy is a big son of astrology. He's a bit of that heavier-boned, stuffier type of animal where I'm not totally sure that first off of this extended layoff, he's going to be able to get the job done. Don't get me wrong. He's talented, and he's a big, good-looking animal that does have his game face on. It's just, I don't know if his game face is going to be around as we near the 8th pole. We'll see. He does likely look to be the pace from the inside. Now, number 3 is Dynamax Prime, a horse who, it was funny, I was just talking to assistant trainer Blair Golan for trainer George Weaver, and I noticed that this horse kind of changed his equipment last time. He wasn't wearing that drop noseband, and she said, well, he just had actually stitches right on his nose where that noseband went, and I don't know if it makes any kind of difference, but still, a drop noseband can be effective with a horse that might tend to play with his tongue and might interfere with his breathing. I think he actually looks better 3rd off the bench, and plus he teams up with the rider who he's only 1 for, and that's Regime Mirage. Long shot is number 4, Discreet Mission, as he's 2nd off that long layoff, gets back to the distance where he ran a huge figure 2 years ago in finishing 2nd on the inner track here. I think this guy looks tighter. He looks like a horse that has gotten stronger having that one race, and obviously getting back to this distance makes him a little bit more, I would say, capable, but still, he's a horse that likes to show speed and do his running on the front end, and he's not going to beat Horoscope to there. I just thought he was a long shot to maybe throw into exotics, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you. So 2-1 on the layoff horse on the inside. Horoscope, he should be the pace from inside. We'll see if he can hang on off the bench at a mile. Back at Charlestown in the dance to Bristol. Lake Pontchartrain returns $10.60.
Yeah, congratulations to this mare and the Fleet Express mare to have the Lucky Lionel mare. Harmony Lake, congratulations to owner-trainer Ernest Haynes and the X-Man Xavier Perez. He was excited to beat all these boys coming in from town.
I have an odd question. I may be wrong. This race is named for a fine race mare named Dance to Bristol. Is it possible Xavier Perez rode Dance to Bristol? We need to look that up. That may have been one of the reasons he was kind of excited, too.
Maybe it was, yeah.
Yeah, because she came, I think, to Saratoga, was victorious.
We'll get our research staff on it immediately. Big one still to come. We're going to take a break in the action. Next on Saturday at the races, War Story locked, loaded, and ready for battle. Can he improve upon last year's 3rd-place finish? The Charlestown Classic is coming up. Stay tuned.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. Phoenix has won the Travers over American Flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it
Clips champion Blaine notched over $4.3 million in earnings, including this historic victory over Zenyatta. Now he's making a name for himself as an internationally successful stallion. Recent top runners include multiple graded stakes winner Fault and French Classic winner Senga. In the ring, his yearlings have sold up to $350,000. Among the top sires of his crop by lifetime graded stakes horses, his 2018 stud fee offers outstanding value. Blaine, standing at Claiborne Farm.
You're watching Saturday at the Races on Fox Sports 2 and MSG+. Good to have you with us. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling, Maggie Wolfendale, and Gabby Gaudet out at Charlestown, where we have the $1.2 million Grade 2 Charlestown Classic still to come from West Virginia. Right now, though, it is the 8th here in New York, second leg of this cross-country Pick 4. As we take a look at the 6th horse on the board, that is Prophet's Cat. David Cohen rides for Gary Siaka.
Prophet's Cat's a funny horse because he's 4 for 62 lifetime. So in the bigger picture, Paul, he's just doesn't win. But his recent form has been much different. Yeah. He's been doing something he hadn't done in the past. He's been running effectively on dry tracks.
He's getting better, and he's got a hot jockey, David Cohen, with 2 wins on the day, a 60-1 winner, and he's looking for a 3-bagger. Now, you look at the one horoscope, you know, Maggie talking about how big he is and how, you know, physically demanding he is, and maybe that's why he comes from layoff. If he runs to one of those 2 or 3 races, he destroys this.
How aggressive is he going to be out of the gate here?
He has to be. He has to, because he's not winning this race without setting the tone. And for my money, I would try to bottom the field out. Make them run to have to keep up with you. The question is he really going to be ready to run this mile? This is the best horse in the race. I mean, he lost to a horse in a maiden race, getting a 90 buyer named Long Haul Bay, who won our Bayshore, a graded stake for trainer Chad Brown his next start. That horse actually returns tomorrow. And horoscope is just better than these if he runs his A race.
We have a horse in the 3, Paul, Dynamax Prime. He's faced a good one named Twisted Tom, who was in some state-bred stakes company in New York over the summer. Out of that, he was no match for that horse, but then he got back into this condition. He just missed by a nose a couple starts back.
Yeah, and that's the worry. He's missed by a nose twice, and his lone win was by a neck. He lost at 50 cents on the dollar by 4.5 lengths last time. He's got a ton of hang in him, but does he fit in this group? Yes, he does.
Well, I don't like that he was entered in a $25,000 claimer and scratched at one point this year. I don't know how much confidence the barn showed in him.
Meanwhile, you have, okay, so Horoscope, we agree, probably the best horse in the race, but the layoff is a big question. Yes, but you have a horse in the 7, Swivel. It's a 7-time winner going up a horse who has just a maiden win.
You know, that's why I like this horse, but...
Too much weight, and me.
Yeah, and here's the issue. When you look at the horses' one-turn mile races, they're against better. They're not bad. But the glaring statistic, when you look on the form, the horse has not hit the exacta here at the Big A. That's my worry. I think the race sets up for the 7. I think the horse will get the pace to close into. You get a hot rider in Manuel Franco getting the right price at 6-1, but it's tough to ignore the horse.
And to Paul's point, 0 for 8 here at Aqueduct.
I liked his last race a lot. He was wide chasing to nowhere last time and had no real chance coming off a bit of a layoff. I think he'll run well today.
I think he will too. I like him at that price. Listen, we saw VIP Dancing, who hasn't won in 2 years, or a horse that hadn't won in 2 years, to start this Pick 5. So you don't know.
And I even thought the horse outside, JJ's Dreaming the 9, a little interesting here, shortening up a little bit.
I think one of the things you have to do when you try to handicap race like this is say to yourself, if Horoscope isn't in the race, Or I know Horoscope is going to lose. Who would I pick? And that opens it up to a lot of other possibilities. Now, maybe none of them will beat Horoscope, but certainly the 9 JJ's Dreaming, he too cuts back to a 1-turn mile from 2-turn races.
There he is, 10-1 on the board. Do not forget, you can play as you watch these races from home or wherever you may be on your device, on the app, earn a $200 bonus as well by opening a Naira Bets account. $200 to bet any track, anywhere, anytime, right from home or with the Naira Bets app. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage. There is Discreet Mission moving in line. It's Horoscope on the rail, the horse to beat, but coming off a long time off, just about a year's layoff for the speedster inside. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York racing, Larry Colmus, for the call.
JJ's Dreaming is coming up to the outside stall here, and we're ready for the start. They're all in line. They're off. Dooley just a step slow to get out of there. Horoscope had a good start from the inside and goes out to the front with Discreet Mission. These two immediately to the early lead. JJ's Dreaming is out running in third. Light the Vow is fourth. Prophet's Cat follows them. And then on the far outside, it's Blame the Thief, who's 4 lengths off the lead and moving up. 3 lengths to Swivel, Dynamax Prime, and Dooley is well behind early on. First quarter was up in 23.12 seconds. And it's Horoscope in front. 3/4 of a length over Discreet Mission in second. Then JJ's Dreaming, Light the Vow to the inside. Blame the Thief outside of them. Prophet's Cat's just in behind that trio. 4 from front-running Horoscope. It's 5 lengths more back to Swivel, Dynamax Prime, and still Dooley at the back of the field. 45.61 was a sharp half mile as Horoscope leads them around the far turn. And Discreet Mission is putting on the pressure. JJ's Dreaming is 3 deep, running in third by a length and a half. Blame the Thief circles up on the outside of Prophet's Cat. Light the Vow's going to cut the corner. The others have work to do, and Horoscope to catch. And they're into the stretch, and it's Horoscope cutting the corner in front with a 2-length lead. JJ's Dreaming on the outside is second, trying to cut into the gap with a furlong to go. Blame the Thief is third to the outside. Then it's Discreet Mission and Light the Vow. Horoscope still there at the 16th pole, 2.5 in front of JJ's Dreaming, and Horoscope's going to take them all the way. Horoscope and Jose Lezcano by 2.5. JJ's Dreaming was second. Blame the Thief edges out Light the Vow for third. The final time was 1 minute 34.64 seconds.
The year layoff, not a problem, nor stretching out to the mile distance for the son of astrology.
Jose Lezcano made him run fast to stay up with him. There were horses on his heels, but they were moving, Paul. That was a fast half, and at the end of the day, the best horse won.
Now, I know the track has played a little bit fast today, but he stopped the clock in 1:34 and 3. And that middle quarter, Andy, was like 22 and change.
They were moving. This was a very, very impressive performance, and frankly, a good performance by the runner-up, JJ's Dreaming.
Yeah.
He ran a winning race. He just ran to a better horse today. Very nice performance by the winner, Horoscope, and the runner-up.
Wins at 7-5 as we continue along in this cross-country pick 4. We'll have the prices for you when we come back. 1-9 and a photo for show. We're going to take a break. Connection to Diversify said the better he got, the more challenging we picked his races, but he'll need to bring his A game if he wants to win the Charlestown Classic. Back on Aqueduct Live, Saturday at the races here, and the Freedom Tower out in Manhattan. I wish I could get into the city tonight. Unfortunately, back to the airport to the West Coast immediately after the show.
Fortunate for me, I'll be heading back in the city.
Look at your winner in the 8th at Aqueduct. It's Horoscope off the long layoff, stretching out to a mile, and Rudy Rodriguez had him ready.
Yeah, congratulations to Longview Stable, Apache Farm, who bred this New York-bred astrology out of the successful appeal mare, Roxy Dancer, now 2 for 11 lifetime. Now look at that pick 3 to start off. That Naira late pick 5, $1,593. And if you had the pick 3, tip the teller the 50 cents.
Come on. At least 10%, right?
That's something.
What?
No? Good luck comes back to you. It's all about
karma.
karma.
You can tell by that story, Greg has actually never cashed a ticket with a teller.
What do you tip?
Greg, I haven't been to a teller in like 25 years. I bet through Naira bets.
Wow. Way to get out of saying that you're a terrible tipper. Race 9, 6.5 furlongs, New York Stallion Series Park Avenue Division. I'm getting a death stare right now from Andy. War Story, as we take a look at Charlestown Classic odds, 6-5 favorite right now with Javier Castellano aboard.
Surprised he's the favorite at this point. Seems like a lot of Javier money.
Yeah, you know, I thought Diversify would be your favorite just because of the credentials and what the horse has done, but War Story probably has maybe better credentials.
Well, the two horses we thought would be the top choices, they're the top two to beat on the board right now, War Story and Diversify. Right now, though, standing by with a special guest, let's go to Gabby Gaudet.
Here with Eric Zimney, the Vice President of Racing Operations here at Charlestown. And Eric, you can already feel the buzz right now, but just kind of talk about the buzz and the excitement of a day like this today.
Yeah, it's great. Beautiful weather, great crowd. We don't get this kind of crowd out here too often over the course of the year. Great to see some of these famous riders like Javier, Edgar Prado, and Irad Ortiz that our fans don't get to see up close on a daily basis.
What does a day like this do for West Virginia racing?
That's huge. I mean, the tracks who have the big events, they're considered the more successful tracks for a reason. It's not a coincidence. Not a coincidence that we started smashing business records when we started holding these events. So hopefully we put another notch on our belt today and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Eric, and best of luck on a big day.
Thanks, Gabby.
Back to you, Greg.
Gabby, thank you. We're looking forward to it. Quickly, this race has become a very important one early on in the schedule. It was back in 2011. It became the first graded stakes race ever held at Charlestown in the 77-year history of the track. As you look at Javier Castellano getting set for what could be a 4th win in this race. In fact, at Charlestown, limited opportunities, but 7 wins from 14 mounts when he's come here.
He means business.
Wow.
Not bad, right?
That's impressive. And listen, it's a different configuration. It's a little bit tougher. You got to ride your horses a little bit harder around the turns because the turns are a lot tighter. It's a little bit like Delta Downs, the old Fairplex, if a lot of people remember that as well. So Castellano knows how to ride these kind of racetracks. Sometimes these guys grow up riding around these kind of racetracks, but obviously he's got great success, and he's got a big mount here and a big charge in War Story.
And he guided Andy War Story to his first ever graded stakes victory in the Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, a mile and a half, and he's a very versatile horse. And when he shows up and runs his A race, which he did last time at Tampa as well, he's a very, very good horse, and he's been ambitiously campaigned.
So War Story, there he is. Even money, taking even more pounding at the windows right now as he seeks the 7th victory of his career. Let's go back to Gabby Gaudet for more.
Thank you very much, Greg. Here with the connections of War Story. Glenn, Ellis, we'll start with you. You've been pointing for this race prior to the Tampa Bay race as well. How's he coming in going into today?
I think he's doing it very well. Javier has won this race the last 3 years, so we're happy he's riding, and John and I are very excited for the opportunity and just hoping for the best.
And he is the favorite. Does that catch you by surprise at all?
I don't think so, because he's had to race over the track, and I think that this track is really a little tricky. And I think it could be anyone's race, but I feel pretty good right now.
All right, well, we're going to have to send it back to you, Greg, because we're in the way for the Charlestown Classic. They're making their way onto the track now.
Good choice, Gabby, getting out of the way of the horses. They rule as we get set for our post-parade coming up for the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic. Even money, and I guess with that experience, he's the only horse in the field who's been over this racetrack, and he ran very well over it in this race last year, missed by a half length, gives him an edge.
Yeah, listen, he's a player in this race. Keep in mind, when he ran well here last year, not only was it a sloppy track, but there were rabbits in that race creating a fast pace, and he may not have the same situation today.
Here's our post-parade. We start with Fear the Cowboy. Multiple graded stakes winner at 11-1.
Big overlay at 11-1 right now. This is one horse that could be a fly in the ointment for the favorites.
Todd Pletcher is a two-time winner of this race. He sends out You're to Blame with Joe Bravo aboard.
He needs to make 7 lengths up on War Story. I just don't see it happening today at 15-1.
Bravo won this race back in 2011 on Duke of Mischief. Discreet Lover, we will see next. 26-1 on the board, and there is the Son of Repent coming off a Grade 3 win.
It's a great story. Hard horse not to root for. He's in tough.
4-horse, Something Awesome. First try at 1 1/8. It was a win last start in the Harrison Johnson Memorial.
How about that? At age 7, he conquered that. He's sort of the wild card horse here with Edgar Prado aboard at 7-1.
And here is the even money favorite, War Story, with Javier Castellano for Jorge Navarro.
Very, very short price right now, but a very talented horse as well.
Diversify, he was the morning line favorite. Very likely could be the one to catch, although there's speed to his outside as well.
Off a 5-month layoff, is going to make his 5-year-old debut, and maybe a tiny bit chilly on the board at 9-5.
And the other speed outside, A Fleet Willie. He's won 4 of his last 5 starts.
He can apply some early pressure. Whether or not he can be around the finish is another story.
So 3 minutes to post in the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic, and Jorge Navarro, trainer, has the horse to beat. Even money, 3rd in this race last year. Going to get him to the winner's circle. He's got Javier Castellano on board, trying to get it done.
Coming on strong. Coming on strong.
Here's Minute to Stardom, making her papa proud. The Star Guitar filly.
Coming on.
Testing 1-2 is all alone. She comes to the 16th pole, and this one is all over but the crying.
On the wire with by the star photo finish.
My love for you. Coming on strong.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
You're watching Saturday at the Races, and the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic is coming up in just a few moments. I want to remind everyone, NYRA celebrating this prestigious race with a second chance cash back. Bet $20 to win on one horse in the Charlestown Classic. Get your $20 back if your horse finishes second. See all the details at nyrabets.com. Well, Diversify, the 6 horse, he was the morning line favorite. His connections actually wanted to run in this race last year off the stymie, but he struggled in that race, didn't run well, so he had to regroup, and they had to build his confidence back up, and boy, did they ever, including a Grade 1 win in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. With more on Diversify, let's check in with Gabby.
Thanks very much, Greg. And really liking what I'm seeing here from Diversify on track. He left the pony for a little bit, and he was putting in a nice little warm-up here on track. But the one thing about him, Rick Violet saying that he wouldn't run a short horse by any means. This is a horse who looks incredibly fit, very athletic as well, and it goes without saying that Irad Ortiz is having a fantastic day today with already 3 winners on today's card. He is the speed of the speed. Now, I did speak to Claudio Gonzalez, the trainer of the 7 of Fleet Willie, who is the likely other speed. He said he's going to try to apply pressure to Diversify, but he's not going to go out on a suicide mission. So we could potentially see the scenario where Diversify takes the field wire to wire. I also wanted to quickly touch in on the 4 Something Awesome. I did get the chance to speak with Jose Corrales a couple days ago about this horse, and he said that he actually shipped the horse into Charlestown on Thursday afternoon to train him over the track on Friday morning, just to give him a go on this unique oval that is 6 furlongs. And he did say that he handled himself very well. I thought that was really interesting, Greg, to kind of get his hooves over the track. He's another one that looks very athletic, very agile, and a horse that's just on the up and up. I really like what I'm seeing from the 4 Something Awesome.
Gabby, thank you. He is 9-1 on the board, the 4 horse. He has won 4 of his last 5 starts, including that win at a mile and an eighth last start. As we get a look at a Fleet Willie, the other speed in this race, and I thought that was interesting what Gabby said. Diversify may wind up getting the lead in this race, although his trainer, Rick Violet, has said, look, speed obviously an asset, especially at this track. We heard Gabby talk about the 3 turns here, so speed can even be even more of an asset. But he said stupid speed is rarely an asset, so you don't want to run too fast and get ahead of everybody.
Yeah, but Diversify is a horse that we've seen run very fast early and still show the stamina to finish at the end. We saw it at Saratoga. He ran a quick pace there, and it's not like he was walking the Jockey Club. You got a horse who may be the best horse in the race. You want to ride him to his strength, in my opinion.
I mean, if you're Claudio Gonzalez, the trainer of the 7, you want Jomar Torres maybe to point back to that race at Laurel on November 11th when the horse got left and was 9th and passed horses. So maybe the connections are thinking we can be able to sit behind Diversify and be able to pass late. I think that could be a dangerous plan because it's Todd Pletcher. It's Rick Violet and a horse that's won a Grade 1. And when a horse won a Grade 1, he gets brave on the lead, he could be tough. And then War Story would end up joining the party.
And we've seen favoritism swap now to the morning line favorite. Diversify, the 6, now has become the even money favorite. War Story, who was the even money favorite, 3-2 on the board. His trainer, Jorge Navarro, saying some prayers, and he'll be watching from inside at a monitor to stay away from the crowd and maybe calm those nerves a little bit as they load up. 10th running of the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic, purse of $1.2 million. Can Diversify, in his 5-year-old debut, establish himself as a key player in the handicap division? We're about to find out. Paul Espinoza with the call of this $1.2 million Grade 2 from West Virginia.
Here's War Story. At 3-2, he's your second choice. Diversify, your even money favorite. A Jockey Club Gold Cup winner takes his spot in post 6, and the last one in will be a Fleet Willie. A Fleet Willie goes in. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Charlestown Classic. And Irad Ortiz Jr. says go with Diversify, and he heads right to the lead. A Fleet Willie is content to sit second early on by a length. Then Discreet Lover and War Story away in that 4th spot. Something Awesome races in 5th. At the rail, Fear the Cowboy, and You're to Blame at the back of the pack. 7 lengths from the front, and the front is occupied by Diversify. Diversified takes the field into the stretch for the first time, and with the Blue Ridge Mountains behind them, the Charlestown Classic field comes by the stands for the first time, led by Diversify. He's up top by 3 parts of a length over a Fleet Willie in second. War Story has advanced comfortably into the outside in third. Discreet Lover tucked in at the rail in fourth, and Something Awesome followed by Fear the Cowboy, and the trailer is still You're to Blame. That opening quarter in 24-1, well within the capabilities of Diversify. That half win in 48-2. Diversify continues to cruise along up top of Fleet Willie, still just sitting in that second spot, sitting chilly as they head onto the backstretch. War Story is still racing comfortably in third. Then Something Awesome outside of Fear the Cowboy, Discreet Lover, and You're to Blame at the back. Diversify begins to feel the heat from a Fleet Willie as the field heads past the 3/8 pole. A Fleet Willie puts his head in front, and a Fleet Willie takes the lead from Diversify, who's not done yet, but has to find more. Here's Something Awesome outside of War Story, 3/4 in 13 flat. It's a Fleet Willie, and to the far outside, Something Awesome. War Story battles on in between. Fear the Cowboy, Diversify is gone, then You're to Blame and Discreet Lover as they come to the top of the stretch. A 3-way battle for the Classic. To the inside, it's a Fleet Willie. War Story in between Something Awesome and Fear the Cowboy down the outside. Coming to the 16th pole, War Story has his nose in front. Something Awesome, Fear the Cowboy. War Story, Something Awesome, Something Awesome was something special today. He beat War Story by a nose. Then Fear the Cowboy and a Fleet Willie, the final time in the Classic, 150-4.
Tremendous stretch duel in the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic, and it is Something Awesome, the son of Awesome again with the win. He has now won 5 of his last 6 starts.
And he is really the now horse. He's been improving with every start. So Gabby picked this horse. Maggie told me earlier that she liked this horse as well, and they were dead right. A good effort by War Story. Not just a loser on the racetrack, but Something Awesome was terrific.
Yeah, so was the one here, Fear the Cowboy, but take nothing away from the winner, Something Awesome. Edgar Prado gave this horse a great ride. You could see Castellano had horse on War Story, but when Something Awesome went around him, he made War Story made a premature move, and he battled back. You see they're talking to each other. But listen, you're right. This is a horse that just got back on the dirt, been running on synthetic for a long time, and now is progressing. Second time going a mile and 1/8, and it took him till 7 years old, and he just won the Charlestown Classic.
It feels like they spent an awful lot of time on synthetic for a horse that is really blossoming on the dirt. And you're right. Getting the distance really seemed to have helped him. Great job by his trainer, Jose Corrales. This horse is in peak form.
Yeah. No question. He's a mile and 1/8 specialist. I think they're going to keep him at this distance. Well, Jorge Navarro with War Story, third in this race last year, rooting his charge on. And, you know, we had a 7-year-old win it last year. Maybe War Story, third time the charm if he comes back next year.
He ran good. He really ran good.
He ran huge.
The disappointing part is hopefully everything's okay with Diversify. Got an easy lead, but a Fleet Willie and Jomar Torres never was worried at all and put Diversify away. And hopefully everything is okay. But congratulations to the connections there and Mr. Stronach.
Grade 2 Charlestown Classic, Stronach Stable, Jose Corrales, Edgar Prado, Something Awesome with the Grade 2 victory. We'll be back after a short break right after this here on Saturday at the Races. Stay tuned.
This successful son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including 2017 Eclipse champion 3-year-old West Coast. A dominant winner of the Grade 1 Travers and Pennsylvania Derby, West Coast also placed in the Breeders' Cup Classic and was runner-up in the $16 million Pegasus World Cup. In the sales ring, juveniles by Flatter brought up to $600,000, and his yearlings sold up to $460,000. Flatter, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Something Awesome was exactly that in the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic 3-horse duel down the stretch. Then it became a war with Something Awesome and War Story. In the end, a 7-year-old Son of Awesome again the win.
Yeah, congratulations to the Son of Awesome again at the dance floor mare. Something About Laura, now 9 for 24 lifetime. And congratulations to Stronach Stables in Adena Springs. And Edgar Prado, for a lot of people don't realize, he's got a lot of wins. And you're going to get $20.60 on top.
And I think it's just another example of a horse that was stuck around and raced. And he raced till his 7-year-old year, and he's as good as he's ever been. In fact, better.
Wow. $20 on Something Awesome. Big price in the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic. We've got more racing ahead. New York Stallion Series Park Avenue division. And we have 3-year-old fillies in here. Pure Silver announced herself at Saratoga for Todd Pletcher. 9.5 length score in the Grade 2 Adirondack. She has not won since.
Well, she was dressed up by a gold rail at her win that day at the Adirondack, and she has made people pay for that since then. She was on a gold rail last time and lost the 2-Ant Babe, and she is a preposterous 3-5 favorite.
I agree with you. Listen, I get it. I think she can win this race, but the 2 at 14-1 is a ridiculous price, and the 9, I get it's coming back quick, is a ridiculous price at 9-2.
I think there's nothing but value all over this board with this horse being as overbet as she is.
For more on this field, we're going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale. This report brought to you by Hillendale Farms.
And I'm chalking it out down here as I will go to number 4, Pure Silver, as she comes off a layoff dating back to day after Christmas, where she was narrowly defeated, albeit by Ant Babe, who is a 2-time stakes winner now for trainer Jimmy Ferraro. And look, I'm taking nothing away from Ant Babe, and she could get maybe the right setup here again. But Pure Silver is a filly who possessed a lot of speed going back to early on in her 2-year-old career. That's how she won a graded stakes. I'd like to see her get back to that if she can today. She's sharp. She's on her toes. She looks extremely fit. She looks stronger behind the saddle, and that's so important for horses to get out of the gate. They need that propulsion forward, and when you have a horse that's doing well and moving their hind end the way they should, hopefully that's what will happen with Pure Silver. Now, not coming off a layoff, that's for sure, is Orchid Party. She just ran here Wednesday for trainer Rudy Rodriguez, and she easily handled a field of allowance horses, of New York bred allowance horses. And this is something that actually Rudy's mentor, Rick Dutrow, was very successful in doing. Rudy hasn't quite mastered it, but I think he's still capable. I will say, though, that this filly is a lot more quiet than what she was going into that race here on Wednesday. Physically, she looks fine, but when you have a horse that you're just bringing off of a short rest like this, you won't do much with them. I'm sure she's probably just walked the shed row, maybe come out and jogged a lap of the track the wrong way. So I'm a little concerned that she is as quiet as she is coming back off the 3 days rest, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. So 3 days rest. She's won 3 in a row, and she's going to try and make it 4 off a very, very short layoff. She's 9-2 on the board right now. We're going to send it back to Charlestown right now. Gabby Gaudette standing by with the winning connections of Something Awesome.
Thank you so much, Greg. Here with Jose Corrales and a huge win by Something Awesome taking down the Charlestown Classic. Jose, what was going through your mind, though, when Edgar Prado kind of had to make that early move on the backstretch?
Well, I was not making him. I let him make it. I was just watching, see what happened.
And what were your thoughts of him coming down the stretch?
It looks good to me, but, I always wait for the wire.
What do you think is on tap for him coming up throughout this year?
Well, I don't know. I go step by step. This horse is just being a blessed to me. And that's all it is. I don't know what to do from here.
An emotional victory for sure, guys. Back to you, Greg.
Gabby, thanks. That's what this game is all about. Holding back tears there in a tremendous moment for Jose Corrales. Time now for the New York Stallion Stakes division. Park Avenue division, I should say, of the New York Stallion Stakes. Larry Colmus with the call. Race 9 here from Aqueduct.
And just a couple more to go into the gate here, including the favorite Pure Silver, who's at even money. We'll take stall 4 here under John Velasquez for Todd Pletcher, and the last one to load will be Orchid Party, who's the second choice right now at 3-1. Coming up to the outside stall to complete the line here. They're all in line, and we are ready for the start. They're off in the Park Avenue division of the New York Stallion Stakes, and it's Baby Boss out for the lead. On the outside is My Roxy Girl. We Gets to Monies came out running in third. Orchid Party is fourth. Our Supernova, Pure Silver right there between horses. 3 lengths off the lead and 3 lengths ahead of Kathy Naz. Then comes Giant Boxer to the outside, and Aunt Babe is last of them all. Baby Boss up top, heading up the backstretch. 3/4 of a length. My Roxy Girl running in second. We Gets to Monies third on the inside. 22.76 was the quarter. Orchid Party follows in fourth. Pure Silver, the favorite, is fifth on the far turn. 4 lengths from the front. And then it's Giant Boxer rallying up on the far outside and going by horses quickly now. And they're followed by Our Supernova, Kathy Naz, and Aunt Babe. Coming to the top of the stretch, 46.28 was the half mile. Pure Silver's under a lot of pressure back there in fifth. They're into the stretch, and it is Baby Boss off the turn in front. My Roxy Girl, Orchid Party on the far outside. These three, as they come down to the final furlong, it's Baby Boss with a rail in the lead. Orchid Party on the far outside. My Roxy Girl is in between them in third as they come down to the line. Baby Boss is the leader, and Baby Boss does it at 23-1. Over My Roxy Girl, Orchid Party was third. Aunt Babe ends up fourth and 116.85.
Baby Boss showing some tenacity down the stretch. A 23-1 the win here in the Park Avenue division of this New York Stallion Series.
Well, the opportunity was to play against the ridiculously overbet Pure Silver, who did no running. Switch of tactics here for Jeremiah Englehart. You thought his one might go the lead. He sent Baby Boss the lead. She's a horse that when she broke her maiden 2 back, fell down at the start and still won. But this was an improved effort for her. Nice performance.
Yeah, Manuel Franco just got aggressive early. When the 4 got left, he went to the front end. The race was over. 116 and change was the final time.
And I got to think there's a high likelihood of a $50,000 roughly carryover in the Naira Bets Pick 5. Those will pays will be coming up, but you got to join Naira Bets.
Let's just call it. It's carrying.
Well, here's the
there
other
could
part.
be a horse or two alive. You don't know.
What about the pick 4 that started with VIP Nation at $140? I mean, I know the Naira pick 5 is going to carry over. This pick 4,
we
this
don't
pick
know.
3 could be just enormous.
Incredible prices. We've seen it again. If you're going to play this Naira Bets late pick 5 and it does carry, the only way to play it, unless you live in the state of New York, is with Naira Bets. Anywhere else across the country, as we see another huge number here. And Manny Franco, what an afternoon this young man's having.
Absolutely. Did the right thing with this horse, went the lead. Looked like she was caught when the 8 forced him, but she held on tenaciously.
4-win day for Manny Franco, 23-1 shot in the Park Avenue division of the New York Stallion Series.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
It's Run Happy in front. Limousine Liberal, Holy Boss can get him. Run Happy has won the Naira.com King's Bishop by 4.
We are back on Saturday at the races here at Aqueduct on a lovely Saturday afternoon in late April. And we have a monster number. Baby Boss, $48.80 for the win. Manny Franco, his 4th victory on the card.
I don't think I've seen a pick 3 pay that much in a long time, my friends. $27,000 if you live on 515 somewhere street, because that's the only way you could have gotten to it. But wow, congratulations to Baby Boss and Manuel Franco.
And a good example of a race where there was a very vulnerable, heavy favorite. And not that we like the winner, but if you can get creative, there's money to be made. And that's how you find value, by beating vulnerable favorites.
You can catch the conclusion of the card here at Aqueduct. Race 10 mile and a 16th on the turf. New York bred maiden special weight by downloading the NYRA Now app. And catch the conclusion of this card. HD video replays for all NYRA content at all 3 tracks. Download it now in the App Store, Google Play, Chromecast, and Roku by searching for NYRA Now. Let's take a look at the NYRA bets. Late pick 5 follow along, 57,000 in the pool. Started off with a reasonable enough horse, Spa Shakalaka, and then things got nutty.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. I don't know, at least, if there's going to be anybody alive here. But in all likelihood, we're looking at carryover 15% takeout of roughly $48,600. And that's going to be added to the pool in the late pick 5 tomorrow, the NYRA bets late pick 5. There's going to be tremendous value. If you're not a member of NYRA bets, you got to play this thing. You just have to take a hack at it tomorrow. I know all 3 of us will be taking a shot at it tomorrow.
The least you can do in the pick 4 is 17,000 to the 12, 19,000 to the 3 in here. I'm trying to look if they have any will pays for the pick 5s. I don't even know if they do. I don't think if anybody's covered or not.
If anyone is, it would be the 12 horse. I doubt that she's covered, but it's possible. I think that people should be looking at this, getting ready to play a big carryover tomorrow.
Yes, and good luck. If you're alive, it doesn't matter. Just get somebody home.
I don't think there's anyone alive.
I'm talking in the pick 4, pick 3s. If you're alive in any of these
that's
daughters.
true. But it just, again, goes to show you this is a tremendous wager to be part of. You can only play it if you don't reside in the state of New York by playing with NYRA bets. We hope you enjoyed our show this afternoon. Cross country pick 4 was a whole lot of fun. We're back actually next Saturday, 4 to 6 Eastern time. Check your local listings. We're at Belmont, guys. Opening weekend at Belmont. Belmont Racing Festival, of course, June 7th through the 9th. We'll see you at Big Sandy next Saturday. Of course, in the Charlestown Classic, it was something awesome, coming up with a stellar performance back-to-back years. We see a 7-year-old take the money in the marquee race on the Charlestown calendar. He has now won 5 of his last 6 starts. Congratulations, Stronach Stable, Edgar Prado, and Jose Corrales, who we saw on camera getting emotional, as he should, with a tremendous performance by his son of awesome again.